Welcome to the program Big Talk on Global TV. My name is Topsy Gimba. I really apologize for that slip in tongue. Big Talk, you all know, it's a program that we discuss national issues. We look into some of these issues that have been discussed in the public and try to reshape them in the way you understand. Don't forget, there are a lot of noises in this country. Basically, they go around insecurity. And fortunately enough, people are becoming conscious of what has been happening for a very long time without anybody taking it into cognizance. When this Boko Haram started in Borno State, with just a few group of boys that the country felt possibly what they were doing wouldn't go beyond that immediate environment. But it's unfortunate. Probably they didn't want to tackle the problem. Looking at it, it was just like a minor issue. Today is gradually engulfing the entire country, not just talking about the northern Nigeria. The entire country has become completely insecure. People have been killed, kidnapped, and equally maimed. To an extent that today we are talking that the federal government is considering closing down schools, including some states. As a matter of fact, the unity schools that we have all over the country have closed, as a matter of fact, because of high level of insecurity, considering the unrelentless attacks we see and kidnappings we see in some other states, particularly in the north. And people are beginning to say, why is it so? At first we thought it was going to be like a joke, but it has gone beyond the level that even the government struggles to see how best it can contend this challenge. And National Assembly, and I think it was both chambers, both in the Senate as well as in the House of Representatives, who they took this matter very squarely, discussing, debating on some of these issues. We were told recently, indeed, some few days ago, that the Kebbi schoolgirls that were kidnapped in Kebbi some few days ago, we were told that they have secured their release. The same thing that happened to St. Mary's in Kwara State, we now found some of them returning. The government, had to come out and then spoke to Nigerians that successes have so far been recorded in some of these areas we are talking about, Kebbi and Kwara State, by saying that they have been able to secure, the Kebbi girls in their number back to their families. The question here is what really happened. According to the information we received, that the federal government, negotiated with Boko Haram or the kidnappers. Let me be specific. The question here is, can a federal government like the way Nigeria is be able to go to the den where kidnappers are, or keeping their victims, and then at the end of the day, they will be able to secure them without firing a gunshot? That's the question that most journalists are really saying. And so it has become an embarrassing stage. Sometimes things that we feel ought not to be mentioned, they rush to the media and then tell us that this is the way they did it. There's just no way you will now return nearly everybody that was kidnapped at a particular point in time without really catching where are the kidnappers. So what really happened? Was it like they paid money to secure those girls? Or was it like the use of military to secure them? One doesn't really know, basically. And it was on the principle of that we felt it was important to invite, some of our colleagues who I know, particularly the man I invited to be with me in the studio in the person of Comrade Abdulaziz Idris, who I still believe he should be on his way. When he comes in, he explains further the issues of the security in this country that we're beginning to see. No wonder that most people are really advocating for American government to do the needful by really coming and see how best this problem could be resolved. Some other section of the society is saying no. Some are saying there's just no need for that to happen. And so I feel a little bit uncomfortable when these narratives are being churned out in the society for us to believe. But it is important that nobody should be used as a tool for us to argue on whether we are succeeding or not. Because a soul of a person is very important. The fact that the child is not yours doesn't really mean the parents don't value the child. For you to be using it to gamble the numbers, who has been killed, who hasn't been killed, who has been secure, who hasn't been secured. So these are the things that really people are talking about and feel so comfortable with the way things are being handled. And so the debate today we saw on the floor of the Senate, that's in the Senate chamber, and partially in what I had the glimpse to watch from the House of Representatives, nearly every lawmaker is very much angry about what today is happening in the area of security in this country. And so I decided to invite Abdulaziz Idris to be with me in the studio to further explain how best some of these issues could be resolved. I shall go on break. By the time we return, we continue on this most wonderful discussion. Stay tuned. Global TV on DSTV channel 365. Stay tuned.
A very good evening and welcome to another exciting edition of Big Talk. Tonight on the program,
as always, it's a pleasure to have you. Join us here on Global Morning. I am Uyi Alpo.
You know how we do it on Social Post Extra, bringing you all the...
On the desk this evening, we have very topical issues to discuss. And of course...
Welcome to your parliamentary program, The Parliament.
Peaceful and joyful home doesn't happen by chance. It is built on...
Women can rise beyond traditional boundaries to claim their rightful place as
a numerous committee, about more than 12 committees.
Face-to-Face is a program that comes to you once in a week at about this time where we look into issues and discuss them. It gives you the opportunity to...
World leaders in United
Welcome
Nigeria.
to Entertainment Circle. And trust me, today you're about to get entertained.
Hello everyone and welcome to the program Talk Sports here on Global Television.
Talk Zone is that platform where we bring young and talented artists.
Stay tuned, stay inspired, stay with Global Television on DSTV channel 365, on Star Times channel 276.
Welcome back. Yes, like I said, we are discussing insecurity, matters arising on this channel, Global TV, DSTV channel 365. And I laid the preamble for those who are watching us right now to understand basically what these issues are and how best can they be resolved. And I mentioned that my guest was going to be with me in the studio in the person of Comrade Abdulaziz Idris. Fortunately, he's seated right now in the studio, who will help to put everything in the right perspective for you to understand the direction of where this country is really going. It has been a source of concern, really, and everybody talks about it. How best can that be resolved becomes the number one question that most people really ask. It's a pleasure having you on the program, Big Talk on Global TV. Abdulaziz.
Good evening, once again. Thank you.
I hope you didn't find it difficult to access this place. Realizing the fact that we've been talking on WhatsApp, on whatever,
yes,
and I thought you were very close. You know, but when I stayed, I realized that you couldn't come on time.
I thought
maybe you got missed somewhere.
Yes, I missed the way along the line. But it's okay. At least I'm here.
Yeah, it's better. Yeah.
On Big Talk.
Yeah.
Big Talk from the Global TV now is getting momentum. Nigerians are watching this program very, very well.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Yeah, looking at Nigeria insecurity, the way things are really going in this country, is no longer news that the insecurity has risen beyond the level we think it should be. Is it about kidnappings, killings, maiming, burning of houses, to an extent that today we're talking about school children, taken away from the school in their numbers. It just happened in one place, it happened several places, and nobody knows whether it's going to happen again. And it is on this apprehension that the governors of about some states felt it was necessary for them to close down schools, including federal government, closing down unity schools, going to about 41 of them, to show that indeed we are under siege.
It is very demoralizing to see the level of insecurity rising, not going down. If perhaps we are talking on a better way, by this time we should be talking that, yeah, the insecurity is reducing to a good level, that yes, Nigerians are safer everywhere, and wherever you are, you will be safe. But what we're having today is quite unfortunate, that school children or schools are being shut down, markets in some places were shut down. That's an economic activity that where people do things to sustain their lives. All those places are closed. And even if you are traveling somewhere else, you will now be having fear, whether you can be abducted or you can be taken away. You see, one thing I wanted to say here is that we have to do everything to ensure that there is a peace in Nigeria. We have to ensure that everywhere is safe.
I send it to them now.
The security is no longer one man's business. It has to be for everyone. We have to join hands together to ensure that everywhere is safe. But in this matter that we are talking now, FGGCs, unity schools, but after the abduction of those 25 girls, school girls, after they were now freed, we learned, somebody was telling me that the kidnappers were also released. If it's true, then that means we are not fighting the insurgency with sincerity. Kidnappers are criminals. On whatever circumstances, there is no reason why kidnappers of school children will be allowed to go free. I don't know whether it's authentic, but if it is authentic, then we are not sincere. We have to do this thing with faithfulness. We are losing army generals every day, or armies in particular. We are losing, our schools are shutting down. These schools that we're shutting down, these are the children that will be leaders of tomorrow. And if you didn't allow them to have a school and go to and get educated, especially we in the north, we have been talking about girl child education, because our children, our girls are backward in terms of education, Western education here in Nigeria. That's why previous governments keep talking about school girls education. If you look, schools that are being targeted mostly are female schools.
Yeah.
Why are these bandits, or why are these people targeting these people? So many questions remain unanswered. If you are talking about the army fighting the insurgents or the Boko Harams, you always have questions in your mind. Even if you ask, mostly there is no answers. There are a lot of controversies around it. We don't know where to start and where to leave it. Today, as of today, if you check very well, you find out that this is almost a week they kidnapped and killed an army general.
Yeah.
Even others are followed, either being kidnapped or they are being killed. I think there's another counter-attack in either Borno or somewhere else, whereby there's a kind of fire exchange between the Boko Haram boys and the army. There's a one that they just passed, is it Kebbi or so-called somewhere out there, entering Niger Republic. They were ambushed by Niger securities and they killed them all.
Killed the Boko Haram?
They killed the Boko Haram.
The bandits, so to speak.
Yeah, on their motorbikes. They were all killed. Now, why is it here in Nigeria? You see that all of them are moving freely. You will see them in 40s, in 100s. Even they said there were some of them along Kwara side that they were moving. They saw over 40 motorbikes this evening, moving from one place, from one local government to another. freely. This thing is unacceptable. We have to find answers to these problems. The militaries or the securities, earlier on, those years back, they were talking about lack of equipment. No guns, they don't have arms, ammunition, and whatever. But now, if you notice, since President Bola Ahmed Tinubu came, he made the budget of security a priority in Nigeria, where you can now find out that last year, their budget is above 3 trillion. This year, in 2025, the budget is over 4.something trillion. But why are we still having the security challenge? What I understand is that the more the money you give, the more the money budgeted for security, the more the insecurity comes. If you look at the case, check it clearly, you see that. Yeah. Why is this so? Now, maybe along the line now, why we're having this problem as present today, maybe it's because of the Trump.
Yeah, the Trump pronouncement. I want to ask you, comrade, look at it. Is it possible for us to secure a list of either 24 or 25 people at the same time, meeting those we suspected them to be like the people who actually took away these girls, and then to be able to retrieve them back home without really identifying or even one being arrested or either a gunshot fired? Is it possible that can happen?
That really is one of the reasons people are getting confused. If girls were abducted and you went and rescue them, you know, come out and say, okay, no bullet was shot and no arrest was made, or either. Or even if you made arrest by release, it's very confusing.
And worst part of it is, the federal government came out and then addressed the nation that is winning the war, you know, against terrorism in this country, looking at the way they secured, you know, the members of the CSE church in Kwara State, and then the KB schoolgirls, you know. So and then they are even saying for the fact that the president had earlier intended to go for, you know, United Nations meeting or whatever in South Africa, right, but because it happened, so they felt he shouldn't travel, and actually he didn't. And as soon as he stayed back, well, they believed that he was actually supporting the military to see how best this matter could be addressed. We now found out that indeed they have been secured, and the federal government really came out to announce to the Nigerian people that have really secured these girls, including the church, without any arrest being made or either a gun fired.
That's what I said. That shows our insincerity in the whole fight, in this fight against insurgency and kidnappings. A kidnapper is a criminal. Once caught, should be killed immediately. There's no reason for you to even take him to court. You caught him in action now.
That is it.
And in that process, he can kill you. He can kill security personnel. We have been seeing every day our armies were losing their lives. Our police are losing their lives. Why? It's because of this problem. Because we are not taking the right punishment on these people. If, for example, I have read separately, there is an army general which I wrote an interview he had that somebody from KP, somebody is the Brigadier General, Major General, somebody KP, where he was telling that
Ali Kefi.
Yes, there was time they were able to apprehend and kill even some scores of these Boko Haram boys. But because of that, he was
retired.
He was retired
prematurely, indeed.
Prematurely. So that raises so many questions. If I saw even just today that among the soldiers too, the soldiers caught one of their members carrying dozens of bullets hiding in his body. These are the kind of arms they used to send to
the boys in the
Boko
bush.
boys. Because this one happens in Maiduguri just recently, either today or yesterday it happens. So you can see the sabotage within the army. So many questions armies cannot answer. So many questions federal government itself cannot answer. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu have done anything that any president can do over this insurgency by giving them enough money, procure equipment, get the jets. The jets are there. Mm-hmm. Why are they not using them? Why? The armories, everything is provided. Before they would say, the bandits are having RPGs, they are having AK-79 or whatever. But now they have all these equipments, they have all these gadgets. Why can't they fight these people? But even now today, an army shot a bandit or shot a Boko boy or shot whoever, he will not be interrogated. He will go for court martial.
Yeah.
These are the many questions we don't understand. See, to me, what I understand really, if we left this matter with Nigerian military, there will be no day it will end. It is a business.
It's a business.
It will not
you can imagine on that particular fateful day that they were coming to Kebbi Comprehensive School to carry those girls away. We were told that they got the information well ahead of time, telling them that members of these bandits are likely to come and then take these girls away and kidnap them. And then they now sent, a number of soldiers under the control of either staff sergeant or a sergeant. But by the time the deed was about to happen, they all left the scene and allowed these bandits to have access to school until even the vice principal was killed. I remember the wife of the vice principal who was narrating her story. I was so sympathetic about the whole thing that they found their way, that she was about feeding her baby at the age of 11 months. She was about preparing the child for sleep when she began to hear movement around the house. She thought the movement were meant to be that of animals around them, only for her to now see some persons forcing themselves into the house and then walk straight to her and met the husband and asked her if he was if he was Hassan. I think the name is Hassan or thereabout. He now said this. They said they were going to kill him, and then he begged. They could not allow him to leave, and they finally did what they thought they should do. And they even asked the wife to leave. The wife said she was not going to leave the house. She should be killed. I want to just paint the picture for most people who are watching us to see how dangerous, Nigerians are going through in the hands of these people. And at the end of the day, the person who carries out this heinous crime is paid, and the victims are left unattended to.
Yeah, this is a problem we are really facing every day. You see, the past kidnapping started from Chibok girls. And when Chibok girls too were kidnapped, this is almost similar story. That the armies left the guard of the school before the Boko boys went and picked those girls. I think that's the same story.
Yes.
Just the same story now the armies were given. I think as of today, they answered the governor by saying that there is no memo written to them to take care of that school throughout. I think that was the reason they gave today.
There was no memo?
No memo. It's not a reason. That's a silly reason. We're talking about lives. You're talking about memo. This is an emergency. We're in emergency when it comes to an insecurity matter. We're on an emergency. Why should you be talking about memo? If the governor do not write memo, then you will not protect the life of citizens. You will be there sitting. Citizens will be killed.
Can you imagine?
You can see the problem, the scenarios, a little bit happens even in Maiduguri and other places whereby you see army in the next 2 kilometers. Well, the bandits will come embed a village or a town.
Very close to them.
Very close to them. They are able to see, they are hearing the voice of the gunshot and whatever. And these people will do whatever they want for many hours. If asked, they will say they are not given command. This really is confusing. Nigerians are getting no answers to all these questions they are asking every day. Our soldiers are soldiers that were professionally trained. They were equipped. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has provided all what they needed. It's money and equipment, isn't it? 4-point-something trillion. Don't we see? Last year, 3-point-something trillion. Is that not so? What are this money for? Is for them to protect the lives of Nigerian citizens. That's why I said, to be candid, if we are going to speak truth to ourselves, and if the presidency would also look inward and outward, we should remove the hands of military, Nigerian military in this matter entirely. We should allow the police to do their work. This is an internal security. Is their work. It's not the work of military. military should be protecting the country from
External
international aggression, not internal.
But do you see the police fully equipped to tackle these boys that sometimes you hear the military personnel saying the weapons some of these boys carry when they are invading either a particular or their soft targets, the military under the control of the federal government, they do not have similar kind of weapons these bandits or Boko Haram members use. And so if you now say because we are fighting internal security, therefore we're supposed to be left under the control of the police, do you see the police well equipped for them when you see very many of them using cordial, stick, to control people, not even weapons, except on special cases they are given guns to hold?
Ogatopsy is because the problem has been allowed to escalate further and further and further. That's why. But Nigerian police have the technicalities. They are trained also. And let me tell you, anything internal security, Nigerian police were ranked high internationally.
Nigerian police.
The same equipment we are talking about, if equipment can be given to military, let's give the same equipment to the police. Let them do their work. It is because they allow it to escalate to this level. That's why we are looking at, say, police cannot do it. If they were given the same armory, they were provided with all those AK-90 whatever.
Yeah.
They were provided all those. I think there was a time they created air police. Let them have the helicopters. Let them have the the Tucanos or whatever. Even wherever you can go and buy it. Let them do the work. I'm very much sure. At this point now, I even have more trust in police than Nigerian army because many questions are answered about Nigerian army. Look at what happened just recently. Why should they leave that school? Why? This part you were given, even if it's verbal, a governor or DSS have sent to you. DSS say they have sent them. I'm sure DSS cannot give them verbal warning. It cannot be at all. The only one I know maybe the governor, the state government. Sometimes politicians, they can play negligence. Yeah. It's possible. I'm not sure.
But not following the instruction or the information passed to them. Yeah.
But,
the intel.
But it's not true. Nigerian military are becoming a bit complicit. I listened to the interview you had with that Air Commodore.
The Air Commodore.
Yeah. You see, all what he said, you can see the plan. Everything is can go very, very right and correct. And it can be tackled. The insecurity would have been completely, by this time we should not be talking about insecurity. We should be talking of something else. How to develop those regions. But what we're having is the reverse is the case. The more they were trained, the more they were given the equipment, the money and everything, the more you see insurgency coming up. When USAID, a senator from the United States, claims that Boko Haram or Boko Boys were sponsored through USAID. From where do you think that money is coming? US cannot just take their money and be giving these people equipment and whatever. It's through the same money that we have. There were maybe ways they used to do. I don't know. You see, we know there were international influence. Those guys, Boko Haram or whatever, linking them to ISS, ISWAP, all those are stories. They don't have anything in connection with those real terrorists of ISIS. Let me tell you one thing that many people don't know. You know there's international politics in all these matters. If you check carefully, right from the beginning of this Boko Haram, in some of the instances, when they caught foreign nationals training those Boko boys, you find out they are not Arabs. They are mostly people from either Europe or US. Majority of the time, you check record very well, you see. Why? If it's linked to ISIS, if it's linked to ISWAP, we would have seen Arabs coming in to say they are teaching them, they are even at the front fighting. Because ISIS, they thought they are one link, so they cannot leave their partners here and be fighting somewhere. They have to come together and fight together.
Yeah.
That's the pattern ISIS and ISWAP use. But you know, because of this American way of doing things, the moment there's this kind of, if they want to destabilize the country, especially like Nigeria, which is they have been targeting for long, they will quickly link these issues to ISF, ISWA, whatever. These guys, this Boko Haram, let me tell you, they don't have any meaningful link. I'm not saying there is no, but they don't have any meaningful link because the guns they are using are mostly Nigerian guns from police and military. NSA attested to that, National Security Advisor of the President. Last year, there's a time in a gathering he said it, that most of the time when they caught these bandits, the Boko boys, even the southeastern guys, non-gun men and whatever.
Yeah.
Majority of these guns they are using, it's Nigerian guns, it's Nigerian military or police. Yeah, we understand the ESN, mostly they kill police, they set ablaze and carry their
weapons.
Even the army, in some instances, they attack them and go with their weapons. That's has happened sometimes. But apart from that, when you notice, you find out that majority of these guns they are using. Now, do you know that these guys now, they have drones?
Telling you, I've been told.
Boko boys, they have drones. I had one of them.
Surveillance in the air.
Their commander is saying, just recently he said, even an ant enters Sambisa, they know that an ant has entered. Once they are talking about how they went and killed the army general, they say even an ant enters Sambisa. How?
They were able to detect.
All those equipment that Nigerian military are having, as far as the technology of geography, the terrain and whatever, they were also given those equipment. They have terrain, they have drones. I think what maybe remain next time was to have F-35 to Kano and whatever. That's the only thing.
That's the only thing left for them.
That's the only thing we remain. Because why? To be candid, I have so many questions unanswered by Nigerian military. I'm getting disappointed. Let me tell you, I have to admit it here. Nigerian military are a bit complicit about this matter because they cannot answer so many questions. Why? Here, 1 kilometer, they are killing people, they are setting ablaze town, they are, you are 1 kilometer, you are talking that there is no command.
But sometimes, they are equally not well equipped. That's my take. The way I see how they manage to tackle some of these issues in the bush, it clearly shows, a person who is, who is lacking the tools to do the job.
No.
I remember some of them said, just like the way these people withdrew at the time the bandits were coming to carry away these girls. When Yalawata in Benin was to be attacked, the soldiers there who were not quite too far from the community did not do anything. And when the deed has been done and they left, they now asked them why you didn't, said they already received command from their hierarchy, military hierarchy, before any action could be taken.
But
that made the former chief of defense staff to say it's quite very wrong. Assuming these men were coming to attack you and you have the gun, you mean you will not fire because you have to wait for command? And so he now said everybody that is actually encountered with the situation, that the matter appears to be very dangerous. You fire without seeking any command. That again became a talk of the town that people became so uncomfortable with it that some people are alleging that because of that they remove him.
Of course.
I'm talking about Christopher Musa.
Christopher Musa, yeah, it's possible. I concur with you sometimes. You see, the issue of lack of equipment at this level, we should pass it. We should pass it at this time. We have seen in fact, even the National Security Advisor once upon a time mentioned that all the equipment needed for all this, to fight this insurgency and whatever, were provided for this army. So why has there been not the equipment? There were vehicles I learned. I was able to speak with one soldier. There were vehicles that armories, those strong army vehicles, they have them all, even the ones that Americans are using, Israelis and whatever. We have them there. Why are they not using it? They have all the surveillance equipment. They have it. It's just as you mentioned this. Here they are, and the atrocity is
being committed, yes.
Just
very close to them.
And they're not doing anything. They would give you an example that they are waiting for command. until one day when the Boko boys come and attack them, kill them. It has happened several times.
Several times. A lot of times like that.
And before those Boko boys will come and attack them, you see that they have information. Armies were in so place. They were less equipped. It's possibly just they do it with the negligence that they send them within, intentionally, that to go there without being fully armed, just for them to be wasted, to show that says that it's fighting with the insurgents. But it's not true. It's all planned. They don't want this fight to end. Forgetting that any blood that is wasted innocently, you have to account for it hereafter.
Exactly.
That's what people don't know. They know, but they were selfish. All these army generals, army officers that you see, they themselves, they knew there was some kind of, something looked like a kind of cabal within the army, whereby if you go against their way, they'll make sure that
eliminated.
They will be eliminated. That's what happened to Colonel Abu Ali, or Lieutenant Abu Ali. Lieutenant Colonel Abu Ali. Now, Uba. There's, I think, one. They also kill him along Adamawa. He's going to Adamawa. There's a time also one army. I think he's also either lieutenant colonel or something like. He was killed along the way. They put an improvised IED for him. The thing exploded, but after exploding, he was able to come out successfully without any harm. Before you know, the Boko boys surrounded him, opened fire on him.
Imagine.
These are
it's very clear. It's very clear that something actually is happening.
Something is happening
that we do not know. Imagine there was this notorious kidnappers. Is it Wadume? You remember was it in Taraba or in Adama?
No, Wadume is a kidnapper.
You see,
till
today nobody has.
He was in prison. He was in prison in Kuje. But I think either he was released or during that break. You know that was
they forced the prison.
He was able to escape. Either he escaped or he was released. I cannot recall really what happened. There are quite a numbers of these terrorists that were still imprisoned. You understand? But some of them, where they will say, they will call it, they were rehabilitated, and they were now ready to come back to the society. Where does it happen? When the next time you see that the guys are going back to the Sambisa,
to the bush.
Why should you be doing this? That policy, even if you use it before, was a good intention. I had one the Air Commodore was talking about it here 2 days ago.
Yeah.
He said, I think he called it Operation Safe Corridor or whatever.
Yeah, Safe Corridor.
They have to eliminate that Safe Corridor this time around. It's no more important. If they did it before with a good intention, it has no purpose today. These repentant guys were so-called rehabilitated and taken back to society. When the society could not take them, how can society take that kind of criminals?
Honestly.
It's not easy.
Honestly.
Somebody that you know he killed your brother, your neighbors. Somebody that you know he killed your father, he killed your mother in your presence, he should go.
Comes back
and he comes back and say he's repentant.
And then you repent and you now welcome him also.
Can you welcome him?
No, that doesn't make sense.
Before you know, they go back to their
base.
And even the state government will say, okay, after rehabilitation, we'll be giving you this, or you go and be doing this. You know how our government, they play negligence over these kind of issues. Before you know, in the camps there, maybe every month he's getting 300,000, 200,000, and he's privileged to sleep with any woman he wants or any girl because they are raping. So abducting and be raping girls and women. You understand?
Yes.
Anything they needed, alcohol, marijuana, whatever, is there, provided. I'm telling you, plenty of it. All the way they were getting those things, even the Nigerian army knew. I think it's the same Christopher Musa retired I was talking about once upon a time in an interview. He said there was a time when food items were sent for IDPs. Along the line, they said the vehicle, in the middle of, like, say, bush, they said the vehicle broke down. And the next thing was, in the following morning, there is nothing in that vehicle. Everything has been carried away. The vehicle did not reach the destination where they will give those items. Who took them? They are the same Boko boys. The plan is meant for those Boko boys to come and
cut the food.
All that food is for them.
I agree with you.
And don't be surprised, inside that put there were weapons.
Exactly.
Armories.
Of course. Of course.
That's why I said there were so many questions unanswered. These international organizations there in Borno and other places, they should be sent away. If we found them, they're complicit, they are aiding and enabling these guys, why should we keep them? They should go.
I listened to one interview, somebody did, but then it's trending on social media, where a middle-aged man that was, taken by Boko Haram to Sambisa, the intention was to make him to be their Arabic teacher. That was the initial intention behind that. They now asked him if he was a teacher and if he could teach. He said yes. They now took him away to that place, to Sambisa, and then he began to teach them Arabic. Because that was the only thing, they were teaching those Chibok girls, teaching them Arabic. But at the end of the day, the man said, in that place that's called Sambisa, like you rightly mentioned, nearly everything you can find there. There's boho, there is electricity 24 hours, they have everything. And as well, he said, their Oga every day in the morning, you have to go and pay homage to you. And if you see him, you will not believe that he can even kill a fly. But then his heart is hardened, according to him. Yeah. Until after a very long while, they were like not too comfortable with him. They wanted to kill him. It was one person that felt that he knew him to a very large extent, and he wouldn't want to be part of these people, that he would stand there and then the man would be shot, and then lifted him on a motorbike and rode with him to a safe place and then asked him to complete the journey. These are some of the stories we hear.
Look, that camp you are talking, there are so many instances, those people that were taken to that camp, if they are either able to escape or they were released on whatever, or on ransom payment and whatever, they will tell you, even medical doctors, they have there. They have
who attend to them whenever they are injured.
And if our soldiers today were injured in this kind of battle, I could remember just recently, once that happened not quite long, around that Depchi side.
Yeah.
Some armies were wounded. One, even the bullet was within his waist. But for 2 to 3 days, he was kept in an emergency place there, that they are waiting for command. What kind of thing is that?
It's unfortunate.
Many of the armies who are sincere, they lost their lives in that battle. And yet, the saboteurs could not stop it. They are not thinking of, even one day, they themselves, they will come after them.
Comrade, let me ask you this question before we could, could go for or whatever, we round off the program. In your own understanding, towards Jonathan's era, we now notice similar kind of high number of attacks going on, and it was towards election, like the way this period is to Tinubu. Some people are of the opinion that there are some Nigerians, highly placed indeed individuals, who occupy sensitive places in Nigeria, who manipulate insecurity to destabilize the system, so that at the end of the day, they will fill in their candidate who will do their biddings in the way they want it. Otherwise, if Jonathan has insisted, and if he insisted to remain in government and probably succeeded to quell insecurity as at that time, that really, congratulating Buhari, who won, probably people who are leaders today won't have become leaders. True. And so they will equally use the same method to edge out this present administration, and they still find themselves, and continuously by the time, the longer the period, you will now begin to see them all over the country, and the country will now collapse.
There's that theory is there. Jonathan has his own problem.
I'm not even saying he has a problem, but I'm not looking at it like, assuming he had insisted to remain, people who are today in government will have become.
Of course.
And in the same thing they're trying to do at this period, making Nigeria to feel that the present administration is not doing enough, so that we start campaigning that the present administration should be changed. And then again, another set of people who are like those who they remove Jonathan will still come in, and so it will be going. At the end of the day, it becomes a reality, and then before you realize it, you'll be helpless.
I concur with
you understand what I'm saying?
I concur with your statement, you understand? But this something we knew it has lingered for a long time, that people are talking this way. You see, yes, it's sure, there are people that are benefiting, and there are people that are enablers, there are people that are sponsors of all these things. It's true. No doubt about it. There's even, I think, either UAE or one of those countries that has once upon a time submitted name of Nigerians who are involved in this thing, who are the sponsors of this.
And we never heard about that. No investigation.
The report is with the president. And nobody has, up to today, been arrested or even
interrogated,
sent to court or whatever. These are the problems we're having. You see, there are really sponsors. There were really people that are helping these guys. But our government unintentionally, let me put it that way, they were not ready to deal with these people. Nigeria has this problem long ago. If you did something good that you are supposed to be rewarded, there will be no reward for you. That's why you have to draw back. Even if there's something you want to do, you remember, even if you lost your life, nobody is going to do anything about your life or your children or your family. Likewise, when it will come to punishment, there were people that thought, or they were seeing that they are above the law, because they will do whatever they want and do away with it. I really concur with you. One thing for sure is that the sponsors of this insurgency in Nigeria are well-known people. The same method, as you said, used maybe to oust Jonathan. Because it's the same thing, similar. When you look at Chibok girls, other insurgents, bombings and whatever, even in Abuja, during Eagle Square, whatever, all those kinds of, you keep remembering who are these people and why are they above the law? Why has the government not seen them? It's not seen them. They were there. Now, coming to this election coming 2027, it's possible. There could be a gang-off against
this administration,
President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Because by all ramifications, no reason that you can give why this is happening, other than this 2027 permutation. I think Nigerians should begin to think wisely. Why is that people can use insurgency to enter power? If it's true, earlier on that some people brought them because to oust another government, and now they were now ousted, and they wanted to come back, so they want to use the same strategy. It's very wrong. This is human life we're talking about.
Honestly. And that's the more reason why I say, whose child would they kill for you to use to gamble the number?
Their children are either abroad. It's me and you that we don't have anywhere to run off. That's why. But most of the time you see that they were there, nobody is doing anything about them, the list is there, there's some level of interrogation. When it will just stop within there. Why?
It's unfortunate, comrades. Time is no longer on our side, but I really appreciate you to be part of this program, Big Talk, on Global TV 365, DSTV.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
You're always very resourceful, and that's why I often seek your attention whenever I realize the topic requires you discussing it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
Yes, I do.
Yes. Well, that's how far we can go on the program Big Talk on Global TV. My guest was Comrade Abdulaziz Idris, public affairs analyst. You listen and watch exactly what he said. And I believe one or two things have been added to the knowledge of knowing how security operates in this country and how best it can be tackled. Again, we'll be doing that tomorrow with yet another personality. My name is Topsy Gimba. News will be coming your way at 8. Stay tuned and bye-bye.